Everybody, welcome back. We are back. We are back again to another edition of Football Today with all Phils and friends. And we've been looking at the competition going on, the tournament, European Championship in January 2024. And we look at the group stages. We moved on to the round of 16 and we're going to the quarterfinals. I'm excited for this next set of games. It's been thrilling, and been amazing competition so far. As usual, I have my usual suspects with me. I have Adesola that call himself Adebu
Adeboye.
and Timilehin Oni. So just introduce yourself as usual, starting from Adesola the way.
Hi guys. My name is Boye, and yeah, I'm here to just dissect and troll Arsenal again.
Yeah. Man U fan trolling Arsenal fan, Abi.
Standard. There's no better thing.
Timmy, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Timmy. Of course, I support Arsenal, and that's why Adesola is, um, causing a lot of issues. And of course, we're here to talk about football. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. It's Football Today again with all feels. Don't go anywhere, stay back, stay back. Let's see. Yeah. We'll be looking at the round of 16, as we've said, and we predicted some winners, and some of our prediction came true. Why some they're like, okay, not too good, and we'll be predicting, looking at the next few games, the quarterfinals that are coming up. It's actually starting in our own time tomorrow. It's gonna be starting tomorrow. Let's look at the past few games. There have been some intriguing games. We've enjoyed some of them. Some of them, they're just like, okay, cool. Starting with, let's start with you, Timmy. The round of 16, how did you find it?
Well, the round of 16 was the full of, well, I would say some was surprises. A lot of tactical changes with some of the teams. For example, England had some tactical changes. Expected the same thing with Belgium. Turkey, yeah, and of course expected Georgia to pull up a fight, which they did, but unfortunately lost in a higher margin, which does not actually say so much about their efforts.
Yeah.
And then, well, it also puts into context tournament football, knockout football as well. Just like I always say, bringing a lot of surprises. And yeah, we're expecting something much better again, in the quarterfinals. Football is a beautiful game.
So for you, which of the fixtures stood out for you, or let me say, which one surprised you the most?
Well. I would say I was expecting the most. I was expecting Austria to go ahead in the competition. So I think that game actually kind of surprised me a little. But Austria were a bit unlucky. Then I was also surprised about how Belgium set up. To me, was one of the most tactical woefulness in that round. I think that was a France Belgium. The way the Belgian setup was horrible, really horrible. Yeah.
Let's go to you, Adesola. Which of the games stood out for you? Like, oh yeah, this is a good game in the round of 16.
Actually, I would still go. The Spain Georgia is a very good option, but I'll go with Timmy and go with the Austria, Austria what
Turkey.
again?
Turkey.
Austria Turkey, yeah, the Austria Turkey game. So that it's both games were very exciting. They were at the highest, not highest scoring, but at least there were a lot of goals in them, and they were very entertaining to watch as well, right from beginning to the end.
Yeah.
There were goals from both sides, and yeah, those are the two that stood out to me.
Let's talk about England. England left it so late, but they still made it through. England against Slovakia was 2-1. What did you see to that game?
Me?
Yeah, Timmy.
Oh, yeah, great. So to me, I think England set up properly tactically, to be honest. Because the fact, all through the games in the knockout stage, I actually brought up my pen to just jot a few things about, today. And one of the things that I wrote was the fact that the way they actually set up, them setting up in the 4-4-1-1 formation, and and then with Bellingham dropping down to be the six, and then we had Trippier always backing him up. Trippier is a very, very good player, to be honest. And then they turned from zonal to man. It was to me, I feel that was still the best tactical setup that England has set up themselves. But unfortunately, we had a few collective issues with people like Kyle Walker and John Stones. So I think there's a lot of issues with them pressing 1v1, which would actually be exposed in the next games. But I don't think we need to panic too much. In all honesty, now I'm beginning to think England might actually be able to, go through this time around if they're able to solve a few issues that we are beginning to see, and if Southgate is able to make a few changes, for example, playing a natural winger on the left with Anthony Gordon, holding the width so that it's going to give more space. Look at the way Spain played. It's going to give more width to the team, and then collectively as well as a team being able to mount pressure, sustain pressure, and the likes of it like that. If they're able to solve those issues, I fancy England, to be honest.
I
That's
agree with you in that sense because sorry. Uh, okay, let me go on. So I agree with Tim in that sense because I think they need to go to a more traditional system. This whole idea of folding, inverting, and having Trippier, who is a right-footed player, to go up. And Trippier is not as attack. He's good at whipping in crosses and all, but it's better. The crosses, the whips in is better from the right side of the pitch. So being on the left side and being like the most progressive player on the left, it doesn't really suit them. So one change I would like is they bring an actual left winger, either Gordon, Ebrechi Eze. When he came in, he played decently as well. He was even involved in the goal. So I think they need an actual left. They need an actual left winger on the pitch. They need to find Southgate needs to find a way. He needs to drop either one of Bellingham or Foden. And I think Bellingham is the bigger clutch player. So I think Bellingham should be on the pitch and Foden has to be on the bench and come in. Or some Foden and Bellingham being together, tactically, you might be able to find a way, but I think it's too much of a conundrum. It's too much of having to fit things in place. Why don't you just have a proper setup? The introduction of Mainu in the game was actually very good. It allowed them to progress better from the base of midfield. But still, I feel there's just one way that they have to attack. Spain, for instance, I will not touch on them too much, but they have wingers who can like take on their man. Saka is one on the left, but most of their attack in the right seat is concentrated on the right. That's where most of their firepower is. And on the left is movements on the left that they use on to attack through the left. But if you have an actual winger and movements, Saka probably moving to left back and an actual left winger who can create overlapping runs and do combinations, because most of their combination plays are on the right and it's very, very easy to predict. Once you can just lock Saka up, Walker is not that kind of fullback as much as good as he can be in like tracking back. He's not like, to me, he's not elite in that kind of like combination play and going in and back and forth, creating space and all. So for me, I think those are the things they just need to switch because it's too predictable.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that next game, and it's gonna be against the Swiss. The Switzerland has actually surprised us as well because nobody was giving them any upper hand. We know that they are good we were talking about it, I think, when after they played the first game of this competition, we were saying they have a good squad, they have experienced squad. We big up Shaka and the likes of Shekiri and so many other players there. And they did justice to what we said because they they dominated Italy in a way that we were not expecting. Another game I want us to talk about, just, mention, is the Portugal Slovenia game. Slovenia really give them a tough time, isn't it, Timmy?
Yes, one of the reasons why is because of the Portuguese setup. Number one, I always talk about Ronaldo being a curse and a blessing. A lot of times, for example, if you look at, I'll give you one or two instances where I was really, really unimpressed by Portugal. You notice even when we had Cancelo and Bernardo play in, just like what Adesola was saying, we had Cancelo and Bernardo play together in a Man City setup. They were not set up that way because, of course, Cancelo is the type where he doesn't want to make really those runs per se, He's more of a player who holds the ball, who tries to cut inside. Same with Bernardo as well. So there is lack of, I don't know the right word to use, but would I say they're not dynamic enough? They're not dynamic. Then yeah, exactly. You see, when you have players who have this short burst like Doku, who have this
Yeah.
short burst like Saka, who can take on their players. Bernardo is not that type of player who will face a player one-to-one and try to beat him. Cancelo might want to do that, but does he have that the power of
of an actual winger?
Of an actual winger, they had that very big issue. Then we had people like Rafael Leao, who, I've always said it. I've never been a big fan of Rafael Leao. I've never been a big fan of Rafael Leao right from time, and Rafael Leao's contribution defensively as well. It's not really been, that's in my opinion, that good. So Portugal needs to find their mojo, in my own opinion. They need to find the way they play. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to talk so much.
Portugal. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to seeing their next game as well because it's not an easy game. I would say this quarterfinals coming up, there's no walkover games in the games coming up. For those people that didn't really watch or follow through the round of 16, we just give you the recap quickly. Spain was against Georgia and the game ended 4-1. I believe Georgia scored first and we were thinking maybe the underdogs will do it again. But Spain came through like, no, we are not having that. Germany against Denmark wasn't that easy as well, but Germany came through. Portugal, Slovenia, it was 0-0 during the game. CR7 missed the penalty. The keepers were great, and during the penalty shootout, one keeper stood out, which was Diego Costa for Portugal. He saved 3 penalties. That was impressive.
First time in the Euros that
Europe has
goalkeepers
never
done that.
happened before. France, Belgium, another tight game. We were thinking, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? Lukaku kept on missing chances upon chances. France nicked it 1-0. Switzerland, Italy. Switzerland was over Italy, as we said, 2-0. Convincing win. England, Slovakia, another tight game. Another very, very tight game. Slovakia scored first until die minute, I believe, extra time, when Jude Bellingham scored, should I say,
an overhead kick.
Overhead kick,
bicycle kick.
not scissors kick, overhead kick to equalize at 90 plus. And in the first half of the extra time, Harry Kane stepped up and he scored a winning goal. So Austria, Turkey, the game we've been looking forward to, was very exciting, end-to-end game. In fact, it was the game of the round. It ended 2-1 to Turkey. Our heart goes to Austria team because a lot of us were rooting for them. Netherlands, Romania. The Netherlands came out at the end of the day that they are here to stay. They are not just here to be part of the tournament. So it ended 3-0. And we'll be going into our predictions for the quarterfinals. Are you ready, guys?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's start with England this time around. England will be playing against Switzerland. Timilehin.
Well, like I always said, I've never ever written off Switzerland before because historically, Switzerland has always played well. They've been well set up tactically. They've got high level tactical players who are able to do, the dirty job, but at the same time be very, very tactically composed as well. People like Granit Xhaka, Xherdan Shaqiri. They've got a lot of fantastic players, but we also look at England as well. I feel England is warming up a little bit more. And I'm hearing from the news what I watched today that England wants to set up with a back five,
Oh,
which might be like they're shooting themselves on the foot. Because although I kind of understand what Southgate is trying to do, because all through England's games, we have seen that England has struggled 1v1. And then if you look at the teams that actually lost, you realize that a lot of them were not pressing from goal kick. So a lot of them don't want to press from like high press. That's what I'm trying to say. England has the players to actually press from the high. For example, Saka can do that for 120 minutes. Declan Rice can do that for around 20 minutes. Kyle Walker, disappointingly, was not able to do that, but he can do that. But then we look at issues like Boye and what's his name?
Stones.
John Stones, Harry Kane not really being able to press compactly. Who's going to sit back beside Declan Rice? Will Foden still be, inverting and trying to pick up pockets of spaces? Kieran Trippier being on his right, these are the issues. But at the same time, I'm a bit seeing. And then England also panicking when their individuals have possession. You see Declan Rice losing the ball a lot of times. You see Kyle Walker losing the ball a lot of times. Harry Kane, all of them were losing the ball. And so my prediction will be I'm going for England.
are you gonna
Even though I'm saying all this, I'm still going for England.
any goal score
Go.
line?
Interesting.
Let's just
2-1.
leave it like that. England to win.
Let me put it as a ball draw, and then England will probably take it in the extra time because Switzerland does not really have, England has the numbers. Switzerland doesn't really have the numbers.
All right, thank you for that. Netherlands, Turkey, because the winner of between England and Switzerland will be facing the winner between Netherlands and Turkey. What do you say, Adesola?
The Netherlands game first against Romania. The Netherlands show why they should actually be considered one of the top teams in the tournament, one of the favorite teams to win it. They had so many chances against Romania, and they were leading with 1-0 for a long time. And there was this fear that, in football, anything can happen. If you don't take your chances, you can be punished for it. But they created so many chances. Depay missing opportunities, Gakpo doing very well. They have very good attacking players. They know how to combine very well. Their midfielders as well, shouting and I can't remember the other guy's name. They're also very good midfielders. I've actually been impressed with Netherlands. The way they play from the back, set up, try to link as well. And then when on the counter as well, they're very deadly. Against Turkey, I would still put Netherlands. Turkey actually really impressed me. I think this was Turkey's best game so far. The game against game against Austria, that was their best game. I was so surprised because I totally expected Austria to outplay them, like dominate them, but somehow, even without Çalhanoğlu, they were able to step up and they actually not outplay Austria, but they were able to match Austria, and from set pieces, they were very deadly. Demiral, surprisingly, doubling his international career goal tally from 2 to 4. Crazy. It was just everywhere in defense, in attack. And I think Turkey is actually a strong team. Now I'm actually seeing that because in their first few games, the game against Portugal that I watched and the game against Czech, although they later beat Czech, I don't think they were too good because Czech were even down to 10 men,
Right.
and they still just were able to just scale through. But this game against Austria, probably I'll just
Don't you
put
think
it
they were
down
just
to.
don't you think they were just lucky in that game, to be honest?
Actually, I think it's because of the way Austria played, and they were just able to like match the way Austria played.
Russia
Do
was
you understand?
unlucky, in my opinion.
Austria could have. I'm actually I feel for Austria because I've been a like big proponent of Austria, of the way
You've
they
been
play.
supporting Georgia and
I've been
Austria.
supporting Austria as well, but
Yeah.
it was very difficult seeing them seeing the way they lost. I think the setup initially as well, the fact that they don't have any out and out elite player who can just a magic player, it's really told on them. Turkey have people who can just come up with like big moments, but at least the introduction of Gregorish in the second half changed things a bit. They were able to like load balls, but they were all just always loading the ball. They were not able to mix things up as well. Austria, they were
What's
just
your
always
what's
All
your
right,
prediction now?
because of
okay.
our time. Drop your bomb.
Okay. All right. Netherlands. I'll still give it to Netherlands to win. I think they will have more than enough for Turkey, and Turkey might just get back to default settings.
Well, let's leave it like that. I will just say England with the one Timmy predicted, but this one I'll go for Turkey. Just
Wow.
yeah,
Because you want England to face a much weaker
no.
team, so that England
I've
can
not
get
been
to the
making
finals.
proper predictions, but this time I'm going for Turkey. All right, let's go to the next one. Those
All
are
right.
the next set of games are, I think they're going to be a good ones. We were talking Spain, Germany, we're talking Portugal, France in quick time. Don't let us waste time. Let's start with team Spain, Germany.
Spain Germany will be a very, very fantastic one to watch. Because of these two teams that to me the most tactically complete team in the Euros, and I'm really cautious about still going with Germany this time around because Spain has proved to be with their elite tactics against Georgia. They showed that they were more tactical. Georgia did not show any sign of tactical prowess. They were just trying to go man to man. And Spain was able to beat that with their wingers. But now they're going to be facing a team that can actually counter that. And then
Germany are home as well.
Yes, that's another option. Then number two is I'm looking at Sane Musiala in transition. Havertz creating spaces all the time. You remember what Nagelsmann said yesterday about what Havertz creates, and that is just the truth. Playing with Havertz will cause them a lot of problems, and I think I'll give it to Germany. I'll give it to Germany. Then I would like to also see a lot of. It's going to be an exciting game. I want to see Rodri, Toni Kroos compete for dominance in the midfield. I want to see Havertz and the two centre backs of Laporte and what's the other guy's name?
Lenormand.
I want to see how they try to counter the issues that Gundogan and Havertz will cause because there will be a lot of space on that day. I want to see how Lamine Yamal, how he's going to flourish beside a top quality right back like Kimmich. It's going to be a very, very fantastic,
We're looking forward to that.
tactical battle. Yes.
Adesola.
Actually, I would say, just on the Spain-Germany, I would actually also give it to Spain. And I think it's just going to be a game of attacks, basically, because both teams have dynamic attacks who know how to, Spain with their wingers and Germany with their players who know how to like exploit little spaces and just attack those spaces. But I would still give it to Spain. I think recently Spain have just in the couple of matches, they've just shown that they can step things up, and they are their wingers are very, very hard to contain. I think they'll just prove too much for Germany in the end.
All right, let's stay with you. Portugal, France, quickly.
Portugal, France. I'm giving it to Portugal. Wow. As much as Ronaldo can be very frustrating because I don't know why he always wants to do everything.
Are you not scared? Look at the back line for Portugal.
France have been
Look at the
terrible.
way
France have
people
been
are.
terrible.
Look at the way they are pressing Pepe. Like almost 3 times they got ball, they got the ball from him.
Yeah, that's just something that they would have to work on. Martinez has to find a very good formation because the setup has not been perfect yet from Portugal. But I just think France have been too poor for Portugal not to beat. France have not scored any goal. Like they don't have any from open play. They've not scored any proper goal from open play. Either be deflections, penalties, or what have you. So I think they've not just found themselves. They've not been able to exploit the pace that they have up front with Mbappe, Dembele, and Griezmann. I don't know. They've not just been good enough, France. And I think Portugal, if they actually do their own things right, if they can contain the pace in behind, and they can outplay France. I'll give it to Portugal.
Timmy, Portugal, France.
Portugal, France, I think I'll also go with Portugal. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen how France wants to depend on the elitism of their defensive players. If you look at them very well, look at the way that they defend. France allows teams to actually set the pace because France don't. I would say they don't also press from the start as well. From goal kicks, they don't press from goal kicks as well. So they leave or they allow a lot of sitting back and trying to collect the ball, passing through Mbappe and everything. And if Portugal is able to solve that issue of Mbappe, just like what Belgium wanted to do by leaving an extra man with Mbappe, but they didn't do it properly. I think Portugal will be able to do it properly, and then whoever scores the first goal will actually win that game. But I'll give it to Portugal, to be honest. I don't think France, like you said, France has been very poor in front of goal. They've not scored any goal from open play, which is a very, very bad win.
Wow.
Actually.
So we're saying Spain, Portugal, England, and Italy in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. I will save those predictions for you guys. We'll come back to it. I think the only one I changed is I'm seeing Turkey to edge it slightly, just Turkey.
As much as I wanted an underdog to win the Euros, unfortunately, all the underdogs have proved that they are not.
There's a reason they are underdogs.
And they are not. For example, I was not impressed with Georgia because Georgia wanted to use chaos, wanted to try and cause chaos and try to depend on individual capacity and the likes of like that. And that Spain exploited them properly for that. They just wanted to run around and think, but
Spain is very good at exploiting space.
Exactly. But then Austria could have actually been the better team and the team to actually cause a lot of problems. I don't see Turkey because Turkey is very, very weak. That's the truth. But Austria could have been the team to actually do it. But football, is cruel. Is a tournament. It's a knockout tournament. Unlike UEFA, where you have the first leg, you are lucky in the first leg. You try to be lucky in the second leg. In this case,
knockout stage.
You're lucky one, and then you're gone, and that's what has happened to Austria. So,
Austria, they played more like a team. I saw some countries that played like a team. They never depended on any one individual. Slovenia played like that. Slovakia played like that as well. And we really need to Georgia. Georgia really tried. But just to
Slovakia that played England.
Yeah.
Slovakia played well. They were brave and everything.
During the group stage, England played against Slovenia.
Slovenia is a very poor team.
The last game, the round of 16 was
They were always defending. That's their game. They defended.
But they are good at it. Everybody does not have to be the attack.
Like they just want to defend with their life.
Yeah.
They're
compact, get your chances, score.
Slovakia.
They play better. Yeah. Slovakia are more tactical, so to say. All right, let's recap as we go, and I've underlined your winners. So we're going to the round of quarterfinals, and the games will be starting on Friday, 5 p.m. in UK time. We are all going for Spain.
No, I went for Germany.
Really? Oh, okay. Timmy is going for January then.
Is the odd one out.
You guys went for Portugal.
Yeah.
I didn't really predict this one, but I'll go with you guys.
I
Portugal.
just think Portugal they should be able to. France have been poor. No,
We
this
know,
is not
but
France that nah.
anything can happen. France can just
Anything can happen, but France have not shown anything can happen.
they can turn up. They can just turn up and surprise you. Anyway, the next one, England. We all England, and you guys went for the Netherlands. I went for Turkey. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for coming.
But then there's the caveat
Was it?
based on luck, first goal. Luck and first goal. Those two things they are not things we can control. We are talking based on past experience, how the team has played, momentum, quality of players, quality of the coach tactics. But then all these things can be thrown into the bin when one team scores a first goal
First goal.
and they play 5 across or 6 across and then they defend for good 90 minutes. That can happen.
Thank you so much. We need to go now. Thank you, Adesola, Boye. Thank you, Timilehin Oni. Thank you, everyone. I remain on post, and this is football. Catch you next time.
All right.